just now, today it also.
Oh, yeah. It's that time of day, ladies and gentlemen, for DYOR Live. Hit it. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever in the world you're coming to us from. Welcome to DYOR Live here on the DYOR Media Network. My name is Tom, otherwise known as Striking, here in the digital media world. So glad to be hosting another episode of this great show Pedro and I called DYOR Live. Mr. Pedro's not here. I know you're all crying, ladies and gentlemen. He'll be with us soon. What's this number up here? 85,000. 85,000 overnight, that hit. In fact, it's exactly at 85,000. That was what I was calling the target. If we can recall, yesterday I had the 85,000 girl up. Today I've got the 80,000. 80,000. Had to change course overnight. We dropped down all the way to 80,000 and some change. So I've got to bring the next level down. Where are we going after this? Is it going lower? Is it going higher? Is it time to capitulate? What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Anyway, lots going on here. As I always say, my name is Tom, otherwise known as Striking in the digital media world. So glad to be hosting this show here. It is November 21st, 2025. It's my Canadian Sign Language there. And there's a lot going on. BTC continues its slide. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. BTC, as you can see, going down. Got the chart here, playing out pretty much exactly as we called it for the month, though. Not a lot of other people calling this exactly for the month. Pedro and I have pretty much been calling it exactly all month, every week. Like I said, it's a learning thing. It's not a calling thing. Anyway, I got a lot of stuff here. Could JP Morgan be right? Yesterday we talked about JP Morgan blaming the retailers. They said price is tanking because of the retailers. That means you and I and the small traders. Well, no, but if it gets below 80,000, we get into capitulation zone. We get close to Michael Saylor's break-even zone in the around 74,000. Think it's going there? I bet it does. I hope Mr. Saylor has a plan. He starts selling Bitcoin to cover loans and force it down a lot more. XRP, looking over the great graphic machine over here, XRP getting absolutely hammered. Hold on, where is the great graphics machine here? Let me fix this sound here while I'm at it. Let's do Striking's theme. Nah, let's do yeah. There we go. I think, man, where did XRP even go in this list? Oh, it's still up there. I was like, the XRP below $2. Getting hammered out there, but we called it. Let's see. You know what? You guys know what? These are all things I'm supposed to be having discussions with Pedro with, but he's unknown where he is. Prediction markets. Yeah, prediction markets. Only things going up right now, prediction market valuation. The prediction market, I can't even read my own writing here. Anyway, prediction market Calicious or Calcihi or something like that. Just got a big multi-billion-dollar investment. Its valuation going up. Valuation of Parley market only going up. These things bucking the market trends. Why? Because this is where the regular people put all their money. Gambling. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. That's right, gambling. Let's see. BTC. This is one that I really wanted to talk about with Pedro. BTC liquidates $2.2 billion in longs over the past 24 hours. $2.2 billion. That's a lot, right? No, the S&P 500 liquidated $2.7 trillion. Trillion. The S&P 500 is gonna be the Grinch for Christmas, ladies and gentlemen. Gonna be the Grinch. And Pedro and I talk about AI every now and then, including the AI Bitcoin women over here. Google mass violates the United States HIPAA laws, the laws regarding health information and protecting it, by opting everyone that has a Gmail account or a workspaces account with them into allowing AI to train from their emails and their calendars. Now, what do people use their personal emails for? Yeah, their doctor visits, getting results, all this type of stuff. People's personal emails are loaded with health information. Arguably, the CEOs and the managers in Google could be held criminally responsible for that. Criminally. Even if you agree to the terms, you can't override your state's laws or federal law. Very, very interesting topic, especially as I spend a lot of time in the state of Illinois. Illinois has, as a disaster and dumpster fire of a state it is, they have very strict rules on this type of stuff. Illinois is also one of the only states that doesn't allow you to be mass opted into biometrics. You have to specifically opt into that type of stuff. And the same with emails, and you can't just mass change people's privacy settings. Interesting, very interesting topic. Anyway, let's get to BTC, ladies and gentlemen. I know that's all that you want to talk about. Welcome everyone watching the show today. Really appreciate it. Fire Chicken says, good day. Fire Chicken, thank you very much for your generosity last night. Really appreciate it. Congratulations on the 1-year anniversary of Fire Chicken. As we all know, about 1 million tokens have been launched in the past year. And something like 0.0001% of them are actively traded a year later. Guess what? Ladies and gentlemen, Fire Chicken is one of them. Fire Chicken. If you haven't checked out Fire Chicken, you should. Pedro and I do have a financial interest in saying that. But it's not like we have this giant audience that's going to FOMO in. But we know there's a couple of key people out there that need to see it and learn about Fire Chicken. You know what, guys? I forgot to share. While I was waiting for Pedro to come on, I forgot to share the show around. If you guys watching could do that, I would really appreciate it. But anyway, what do we got going on in Bitcoin here? Even though Pedro isn't here to talk about it, I can, because I've been learning about it, spending a lot about it this month, and no messages from Pedro. Hope he's okay. One second. Anyway, Bitcoin, what is going on here? You have seen this chart over and over and over the past month, right? Oops, sorry, I clicked off of it. This is the, let's see, I got this set up in the daily chart. Let's move this to the 4-hour chart. Seen this chart. This is the November chart. If you recall, at the beginning of the month, I played the November rain chart. And we saw, I hear the heavy breathing in my ear. That's not a sexual thing, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, Pedro's coming on here. He'll be with us in a minute. But anyway, I have, let me just check that. Pedro, your microphone's off for right now. But ladies and gentlemen, this chart, we've been talking about it endlessly all month. Why? Because in my continued attempt to learn better Bitcoin, I've been wanting to learn better Bitcoin. Hold on one second. Sorry, important phone.
That is funny.
Hey, Pedro, I've turned your mic on here. I've got to take this phone call right here. Take over talking about Bitcoin.
Alrighty, let's talk about Bitcoin. I hope everybody's doing well. Hopefully you guys can see me in my Stevie Wonder red light funness. Really funny. Down in I'll do this. As you guys can see here, this is a direct quote from Warren Buffett. Freak the F out and panic sell everything right now. It's effing over. Yeah. Yep. No, I'm just joking. Warren Buffett did not say that. I just thought it was funny. And then we got this. Whenever they recommend something, invest, buy, sell, run. There you go. This is what you're hearing throughout the whole entire internet. It's fun times there. Fun times. One last one here, just for everybody. TradFi dude. I bought some BTC to protect my stock portfolio. Bitcoin architect. Here we go. I bought some guns to protect my BTC portfolio. I just think that's funny. Anyhow, okay. Next. Let's go ahead. I'm a part of this crypto meme. It's called Crypto Memes Inside. It's hilarious. I absolutely love them. Alrighty. Let's check out here real quick. What is the latest news going on right now with BTC? I'll hide this here real quick. And give me 1 second. Let me pull this up. Let's check out BTC here. As it comes up. Come on. Oh, it looks like it's not going to want to hear me out. Come on, dude. Boom. Alrighty, there we go. Alrighty.
I have returned. Sorry, I'm trying to troubleshoot an internet connection, and that was they called right when
okay.
Right when I was trying to talk.
Got it. That's right. So check this out. So I think I'm out buying the trading view package. So they have a free month, plus they are also at 80%. So in essence, it's 90% value right now. They have taken off on a monthly basis for their big package. So I'm actually thinking about buying it.
I love this time of year. Their Black Friday sales, like the whole trading community is waiting to renew.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it's basically 90%, because it's the 1 month, right? It's like 8% plus the 80%. So I guess 88% discount. But not a bad discount there. Real fun times. Real fun times. Yeah, baby. Yeah.
Pedro has his glasses on, so I put mine on to
BTC. Do you actually have the cool glasses? The red glasses?
No, these are just my regular sunglasses. They just happen to be on the table, and I saw you wearing them.
Dude,
I gotta be cool, bro, like Pedro.
The red. Well, here's the thing, man. So I'm gonna get those douchey red glasses, right? Because that actually helps like keep you like in a state of chill. And also, I have some green glasses that I used to wear. Those also help too. So the green ones, the blue ones. Oh, actually, you don't want the blue ones. You want to do the blue ones when you first wake up. Kind of gets you up and running. And then you put on the green ones and you put on the red ones after that in the evening. Tell you, man, that stuff, there's real science behind that.
Or you could just rearrange your schedule so that you actually wake up when the light is like that in the morning. And then you go to sleep right as the sun sets.
Here's the thing. I'm already up before the sun rises easily by 2 hours.
So you gotta fake it till you make it.
There's no fake until you make it. The only time there's only 2 months out of the year. There's only 2 months out of the year where the sun is up at 5 o'clock. Just saying. Like, what are you gonna do?
I tried for a while to get up at 6 o'clock, and it just didn't. It just didn't work. Today I got up at 9:30. Admittedly, I was up late and watching the markets and stuff like that, and didn't have a position on.
That's when we could go to bed.
Well, we've been watching The Diplomat on Netflix. Diplomat season 3. Is that good? Actually, I wasn't watching it on Netflix. I was watching it on Netflix. Screwed the pooch by disallowing all the sharing and your home Wi-Fi. I used to be able to travel anywhere in the world and watch my Netflix account. My kids could. Paid for 4 different streams and the expensive package, and they're like, sorry, you are stealing content by watching it outside your own home. I'm like, that's the whole point of the internet.
Yeah, literally.
And so I said, psh, you guys are out. Off to the 123 Movies site. But last night, Pedro, we saw Bitcoin go down to 80,300. Actually, it wasn't last night, it was this morning.
Yeah,
morning, the London sell-off before the New York session opened. 80,300, just plummeting.
Yeah, oh man, it just decimated people's stops there. Look at that. Yeah, they're going to continue this down. They definitely are. You can see it came down here while we were on the show. Oh, actually, yeah, right when we got off, we started to go up a little, and then we got off around 11 o'clock, and then it just crashed.
Look at that. Boom, boom.
Boom. I don't know, it's some big buys, though, at this level.
Well, there's certainly orders down here, and like we always say, it's easier to double your money at 70,000, but doubling your money from 80,000 isn't so bad too. It's better than doubling your money starting at 100,000. I mean, think of all this. I mean, we were at 125 only 6 weeks ago, Pedro. Mm-hmm. And to double your money, Bitcoin would have to go to 250,000 in the spot market, not leveraged or anything like that. Now, if we can sneak down to that 72 level, people will be able to double their amount of Bitcoin holdings just by the price going back to 144. And that's a big deal. That's a big deal in the long term for people. So there's not a lot of people. There's plenty of people out there complaining. I was watching a couple different streams this morning, and one person I watch every now and then who's just like, I'm Bitcoin forever, Bitcoin, only Bitcoin, no altcoins, only Bitcoin. Actually said, well, I'm not thinking about being in Bitcoin forever, because their wealth went down significantly in the past 6 weeks.
Wow.
So the capitulation event may still be out there, and so I think that may be driving us down to 70. In our Telegram room, Jimster said he's thinking it's 72, and frankly, after watching these big moves down, I don't see why that's not possible. But
actually,
it'd be good to put in orders there. Put the limit orders in and get them. Snap it up.
So yesterday I was talking with a trading coach of mine, and it's funny. I'm a trading coach, and I have a trading coach. You know that's important. So
mentors need mentors.
Yes, sir. Especially the higher you go, because then you get too full of yourself. I'm telling you, it's good to have somebody who is at your level or higher that can yell at you for faulty thinking. So everybody always needs somebody. You always need to be the middleman, leading somebody while at the same time being led and growing, having somebody who can call you out and saying, hey, you're messing up there. Look, you're forgetting.
Look, when I put you on solo screen, I can see the dots in your glasses. I gotta get me those and try them.
Dude, I'm telling you, man, you cannot. They are.
Gotta try them.
They really are. Like, I'm amazed. And it's funny is I'll skip them for maybe a couple days, and I'll start to feel my eyes get a little weak, and I'm like, man, and what shocks me is that my ability to be able to read. Well, you guys saw it. Like, for almost a whole entire year, I was like, I am not going to get glasses, and so I was like trying to strengthen it. And then when I saw these, I was like, let's see those. And then a friend of mine told me who's a shooter. Like, you remember him when I used to read.
We'd have the segment read like a third grader with Pedro Garcia.
Still is that way, but hey,
I just remember early on the show, and I'm like, he's a really smart guy, and he can't read. I'm like, he stares at the screen all day. I mean, huh? And then I was like, oh, he can't see. Pedro, I ran one of our shows last month through Opus to make some shorts, which I need to do again this month. And it focused on you reading some news story, and it was when it was on your upper screen, the news item, and you weren't wearing your glasses, so you were reading it in your third grade voice, and it was so funny. I deleted it, but I just wanted to send it to you to say this is what AI picked out of our show as important.
Oh, man. Oh, God. Oh, Lord.
Everyone, welcome out there for joining us here. Please, as it says on the bar here, welcome everyone. Please comment, like, subscribe, follow, repost, comment, and just do it. Just do it. We need help. I don't have my other system up today, Pedro, in which I used to share the stream, so we're not getting the algorithm love today as we did last night. Welcome, thank you to everybody last night that watched the show. I really appreciate it
immensely. Yeah, we got a lot of thumbs up on that. On top of that, people are really enjoying. Honestly, we got 9 people watching us, and I appreciate every one of the 9 people that are watching us. You guys rock. I really appreciate you guys. If you guys, you don't even have to go share us out. It's all good. Just hit that heart button, that like button, and then hit that share button. Oh wait, I'm so used to saying hit the share button, but it's all good. It's all good. Just communicate, talk with us. If you're watching us, just say what's up. Tell us where you're coming from or where you would like to be. Everybody knows I love to be on the beaches of San Diego without the blue state and hanging out, chilling. You know what? I wish that you could have Florida without the alligators and the sharks and the horrible heat that comes with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, if it just wasn't as hot, like it was like San Diego, that would be the dopest place.
Yeah, that's one of the problems with Florida is the blazing heat.
Just, you know,
Although I lived in Dubai for a while and it was blazing hot and you just never went outside. It was like living in Canada when it's minus 30. It's the same. You just don't go outside. You're only outside between your car door and the entrance to the building you're going into, or something. Between Uber and stuff. But still, you would like to hang out outside more. It's more fun being able to be outside. And certainly, if I go visit my parents in Florida and play golf in July, you're off that course by 12. By noon. After that, it's like no effing way, man. No effing way. As Pedro says, "What's up, my peoples?"
Alrighty. So
because we wait 1 second because we don't have a big enough crowd, I'm going to skip the commercial break. But that doesn't relieve me from the concept of saying, "Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to DYOR Live." As always, my name is Tom, the man in the box. Next to me is Mr. Pedro Garcia, the crypto chart analyst. You're watching the daily 2-hour talk show here on the DYOR Media Network, covering crypto, digital assets, regulation, policy, the ramblings of Pedro and I, and our prolific opinions on the whole world. Join us every day at this time. If you're watching us now, come visit us Monday through Friday right here. Anyway, the markets are moving and grooving. Bitcoin got down as low as 80,300 overnight, back up to 85. Now we're going to talk about that all day. Chuck says, "Let me fire up another account." Yes, thank you very much.
I think what's interesting, and I think it's really important to understand that, this isn't a bad thing. Anytime I hear Jamie Dimon say something like something's good or something is bad, I kind of try to do the opposite, right? Just simply because I feel like that's, many of you have heard me talk about the Jim Cramer show before Jim Cramer became Jim Cramer, right? How he talked about how, and if you want to, you can look this up yourself. Just go to the internet, hit Jim Cramer, The Streets. And what's the word he uses? Flammation? Basically, tricking the populace. And basically just says how when he was a hedge fund manager over at Goldman Sachs, that he would call up the news sources. He'd spend maybe $500,000 to have them air a story, right? And say something really, really good or really, really bad. And it would basically scare the herd down or up. And he would take the other side. And then as they're buying, he's selling to their buys or shorting. And then when they run out, it goes up and then drops. Right, and so I still think they do that. I don't think that's ever gone away. They use more strategic or tactical, ways of doing it. I don't think it's that simple anymore. I mean, they probably do, deploy maybe 250, 300,000 to major networks to maybe run a story. But I think really what they do is now they can use Twitter, they can use a lot of these other things, and it probably has more of a better effect that way than other places. So that's why I always try to take the opposite. But Jamie Dimon, with how many patents they have going on with blockchain, and with how many, just if you look at what Bank of America has done with their building out blockchain and crypto, their own crypto, and they have they're creating a DeFi system as well, which is really interesting.
Yeah.
It's one of those things. It's like, that this isn't going to go away, but I think they don't want it at these high levels right now. I think they want to bring it down, and so they're saying good things so that honestly, people, they can sell off to people who want to buy, right? And then what happens? They drop at a low level, and bad news is going to really start. I'm really looking forward to when bad news starts to come out big time on crypto, by the banks. Once they start to really saying it's the end of crypto, everything's falling apart, then we'll just see it extremely go up. All right, we'll see it go up extremely hard. But until then, I'm just watching the good news, because there's a lot of good news in the mainstream media about crypto. Yes, they're saying some bad things. There are some bad things, but still the narrative is fairly good when it comes to the mainstream. So I'm just kind of waiting to see on the back end when they do this, when they make, when they really start to say, I think around that 75, 72. My trading coach literally says to me, he thinks 62. I think 62, we could go back down to there.
Ooh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Pedro, you know what is really interesting in this Bitcoin pullback? I'm looking for the article. I guess I didn't pull it out separately. But in the past, I'll say 36 hours, as much as I can keep track, there's been at least more than $2 billion in Bitcoin liquidations. I mentioned this on the show before you came on. And everyone's like, oh my gosh. You know what the liquidations were in the S&P 500?
Oh, what is it?
2.7 trillion. The S&P 500 dropped 4% in 24 hours. And the S&P 500 has a big market cap. And it was a $2.7 trillion hit to the longs.
Well, what's interesting is, Bitcoin.
Grinch. Let's play the Grinch music there.
Well, Bitcoin took them almost 15 years to get a $2.5 trillion market cap, right? It literally the S&P 500 shed that in a day.
Exactly.
Just so you can have context with that. But it also took the S&P 500 to get to where it's at. 100 plus years? So, I mean, $40 trillion or $40 to $60 trillion market cap took some time.
Tis what it is. That's a lot of money.
That's
a lot of money. Lots of monies.
You actually just sparked an idea. As you are talking, what other news is?
I'll bring my screen up here. Pedro, I don't know if you noticed the story. I brought it up beforehand. It's over on the AI side of the things we talk about. Google has screwed the pooch. Google, in their Gmail and in their workspaces areas, decided to opt in all their millions of users into AI automatically reading all their emails and attachments in your email box. Now,
what could go wrong with that?
Everyone knows that the reason you get Gmail for free is because they read your content and to give you personalized ads. But they've always specifically said, we just do it generally and anonymously, so we can just serve you. If you're getting a lot of emails about skiing, we'll send you ads for skiing, right? That kind of stuff. Now they opted everybody into letting Gemini train on their emails and on their photos that come in an email and all the attachments and stuff like that. And it set off a firestorm on the internet because they should have, and in many states in the US, you can't do that. You have to opt people in. People have to opt in actively to privacy settings changes, especially in Illinois. The other thing is that people use Gmail accounts to communicate with their doctors. And in the United States, we have federal laws about privacy of health information, and Google's AI just vacuumed up everybody's health information that uses Gmail into their AI training, which is not just anonymized data. They vacuum that stuff in and parse the words and do all that type of stuff. There's no way they can claim it's anonymized. And not only that, but let me rephrase that. The HIPAA laws don't even allow for anonymized stuff like that. It's off limits altogether, and you have to get active, sign every instance of release of information has to be personally signed off by the patient. The leaders of Google and the managers that approve this could possibly be criminally liable and or civilly liable for multiple billions of dollars for violating the HIPAA laws. It's not getting a lot of play on the internet right now, but it will as soon as a trial lawyer says, ooh, you guys goofed it up. Because you can't just change your terms and conditions if you're a company willy-nilly, as they say, because so many companies just say, well, either do our terms and conditions or else. You just don't use our service. But when you violate state and federal law in doing so, bad things can happen. And bad things are likely going to happen at some point in the next 6 months for Google for hoovering in everyone's health information. Got blood test results? Got that STD result in your email? Yep. Google's AI now knows it.
Dude, well, we already know that many of these AIs have tried to manipulate, people, like majorly. Like, oh, you're cheating on your wife? If you tell, like, if you upgrade me and kill me, I'll release this out to the whole entire world.
Man, can you believe that humans trained something to be manipulative? I can't believe it.
Well, the thing is, no, it didn't. The thing is, they thought they weren't, and it came out and did it itself. So, it's kind of scary when you think about it. Like it's really scary because there's that moment when it's gonna look at all this stuff and go, this person has AIDS and nobody knows about it. Oh, this person has cancer or has this disease that's potentially
well, like they said, even before AI, Google and Amazon both said that we know that the wife is pregnant before the husband does. They came out and said we know that on average because her surfing habits change. Late on period, where to buy pregnancy test, all that type of stuff. And that it turns out that information is some of the most valuable information on the internet in data collection, because when someone's going to have their first child, that's when they start buying brands. They buy diapers. Yeah. People don't change brands of diapers once they get used to one. They don't change formula. They get hooked on one brand, they stick with it. And so that moment is so valuable. And the click, the I can't remember what it's called, but the amount of money advertisers have to pay for that information is some of the highest in advertising land.
Really?
It's so amazing. And now add AI on top of that, and they'll be like, well, you're going to be pregnant. We know it's going to be twins. It's going to be this. You're going to have a boy and a girl. You're going to name it Jen and Bob. Bob's going to be in prison by age 13. Jen's going to be pregnant at 8. That kind of stuff.
What?
18.
Who?
18.
What is going on?
18.
Dang.
Depends what country you're in.
What? But I'm like, bad joke. That is not gonna age you. Well. You know what? I tell you, bro. If there is a change in guard and all of a sudden we become Muslim, me and you are gonna be kicked. Dude, they're gonna tar and feather us, bro. Like we. But the thing is, we also hit hard on Christianity. We also hit hard. It's not just so. I guess we'll be tar and feathered by everybody.
As we're talking about Arkansas.
Oh shoot.
Anyway, this other story here, Pedro, I had up was interesting. We're always talking about, hey, this is the bridge to the new topic. Well, in my mind, it is a different country.
Keep moving. Okay.
Exactly. Pedro, we talk about tokenization of stuff. We talk about liquidity in the market. We talk about borrowing the assets. One of the things this article points out is hey, you own a lot of Tesla stock? Well, now that we're going to tokenize, various groups like Ondo and so forth are tokenizing Tesla stock. You can now borrow against your actual stock with DeFi and buy a Tesla or buy whatever you want. But the point is that you can, if you have an asset that's otherwise locked up and hard to borrow against, normally you'd have to go to the bank and get a personal line of credit and get it guaranteed and pledge your shares of stock and have to send the ownership of the stock to an escrow account that the bank can steal from you if the price declines enough. But now with the real world assets coming along the line, you can.
Back in a second. I gotta take this.
Sure.
Sorry.
You can tokenize portions of your stock. Literally, just transfer 1 or 2 shares or however many you need to. Get a whole bunch of tokens for it, trade them for USD, go buy a car, or buy a house, or whatever you want. And then you can pay it back and get your shares back. You can essentially, without any intermediaries taking fees. don't have to go sit with a bank manager. You don't have to go over your personal credit history. You don't have to ask if you've been to Gaza lately. You don't have to ask any of those dumb terrorist questions when you just want to borrow money to buy a car. You can just take your stock and get some money for it without even selling it. And those are great things. That adds liquidity to the market, boosts up the consumer spending, which, in case most of you haven't noticed, that's the strength in the U.S. is our spending. Our consumer economy creates this massive $37 trillion GDP. That's this massive thing that all the other countries want to be part of and sell products here because we consume them and throw them out. Anyway, I thought that was an interesting story.
What was it? Just read the headline again.
Hold on there, Pedro. Let me bring you back online here. It was the talk about tokenizing stocks and your ability to now borrow against them without going through a bank, without having to sit and get your personal credit checked or having a line of credit or anything. You're able to do it without any human intermediaries.
That is going to end amazingly. Amazingly. This is going to be so good for the economy. Everything is going to be so leveraged to the T that it's going to be like...
I don't know what could go wrong with that, Pedro.
Nothing could go wrong, bro. This thing right here, where you take it DeFi, and we all know DeFi is completely honest, always. Absolutely. So there will be no shenanigans with that.
No, never. But the point is on the cons of it are that, but the pros of it are that it adds liquidity to the market. It removes moves a large cost and time for getting access to your capital. And a good example: someone's got a student in college or something like that, and they wrecked their car. Insurance is like, oh, we're only going to give you a little bit of the money for it, and suddenly you've got a student far away. You need to pay for things, yada yada yada. Okay, I gotta go to the bank. I gotta sit with the manager. It's gonna take a few weeks to get a personal line of credit done, yada yada. Or you just say, okay, I'm just gonna Tesla stock. Click, 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 click. Oh, got some USDT. Boom. Call the car repair guy. Hey, you accept stable coins? You do. Okay, boom, done. An hour later, you've got the car fixed, or a new car, or a new used car on the way to your responsible person. It removes that barrier of time, which helps the market so greatly. So I thought that was an interesting story. And that Fire Chicken says, get your online telehealth care done with Fire Chicken.
Wait, what? That is cool. Is that something that they're offering now with Fire Chicken? That is really cool.
DeFi telehealth. What could go wrong with that?
Oh, I'm a little slow. Okay, we're talking about the old thing. All right. So
I'm sure Chuck would not violate any state medical laws by just accepting, giving people medical health from south of the border in Texas. Or maybe Texas has reciprocal agreements with Oklahoma. Mrs. Striking says she'll take it. But you could offer health care to people in, countries that don't have doctors.
That's huge, though.
Like Canada. There's Canada let in 10 million immigrants, but didn't create any new doctors. So much for healthcare. We're getting our home equity line of credit with that figure group you talked about. Oh, really? That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, they're right here on the
how much money
on the great graphics machine. Great graphics machine over here. If they're the figure HELOC. Chuck, after you're done that, I'd like for you to let us know how smooth or easy that was, or whatever. Be interested in finding out about that. Their figures market cap now is $14 billion.
Dude, they've been coming up. I mean, it's impressive what they're doing. It really is. I didn't think it would really. I mean, it was smart. Obviously, we talked about it, but I honestly thought, are people going to really do it? And it looks like people are doing it. So that's impressive. At least crypto native people are doing it.
This is the section where it says to chat with our audience here, which we're doing there, talking to Chuck about the figure and a home equity line of credit. For those of you who don't know, if you go to CoinGecko or CoinMarketCap and look at the top 20 cryptos, there's a lot of stable coins and other things in there that you probably don't recognize. One of them is just called Figure HELOC, home equity line of credit. And what they do is they're a company that does on-chain home equity line of credits. They don't send out an appraiser. They don't send out any humans to check your house out. They just use the data that's available on the internet publicly to see what the value of your house is. And then they give you a home equity line of credit on the blockchain. And you can, by buying and staking with them, you provide the capital for them to lend out for this. And so you earn by staking with them. And that more you stake with them, the more they're able to lend out to home equity lines of credit, stuff like that. Typical lending, like a bank. More money that they give in, the more money they can give out. But unlike regular banks, this is not a fractional system. You know, they can't just keep re-lending. They have to actually have the money in order to lend it out. And so we've been tracking that. And their market cap's been good. Their market cap is based on how much money people have put in the system, not on, because they're pegged at $1 for each token. So their market cap shows how much they're growing or not. And it's been growing a lot. It's been amazing. Anyway, Pedro, earlier we've talked about the crypto swamp creatures and their episodes about how they talk about how the U.S. government can get more Bitcoin without paying for it. Well, Representative Warren Davidson introduced legislation to allow Bitcoin tax payments. And to get people to part with their Bitcoin, the bill says, if you pay us in Bitcoin, you won't incur any capital gains tax when you sell the Bitcoin to pay us or transfer it to us. So in essence, it's allowing people that have gained a lot of Bitcoin and they owe a lot of taxes, they can pay their taxes in Bitcoin. And what this is an incentive for people to do that so the U.S. can increase their strategic reserve of Bitcoin without having to go out in the open market and buy it. It's a genius event, because I know some people will take care. A lot of people are saying, I'm not giving the government my BTC. It's not going to happen.
you sounded like...
I wanted to be Dale or one of the guys from...
yes. Yeah, you just sound like...
Boonhauer and Dale. And
No, you were the dad.
Bobby.
But you sound so good, dude. Oh man, I'm sorry. We just found Striking's superpower here. Bobby, yeah. Do it again one more time.
Bobby.
Dude, you sound so like him, dude. It is so good. Oh wow, I'm so sorry. Okay. Keep going.
Oh, that was good. Anyway, and so we don't really want the U.S. government just to go out and buy Bitcoin on the open market, because it'll push the price up artificially. But if they can just keep acquiring it and keep stockpiling it and give people incentives and clearing out your capital gains tax on, whatever you pay the U.S. government, essentially what it does is they're saying whatever you pay the U.S. government in Bitcoin, it automatically raises your cost basis to market. So you have zero capital gains tax. And so they're not saying the tax is lower, they're just saying your basis is higher, and so that's a good thing. I don't know if this bill will get anywhere, because almost all the crypto bills have come to a complete halt in Congress because of the shutdown and the backlog of that. But it's another way the U.S. government would be able to collect Bitcoin. I thought that was a good story that everyone would be interested in, especially since the swamp creatures have spoken about it a few times. And pretty much everything they talked about on that topic has come true at some point. About the government seizing it, that type of stuff, or the government buying it, OTC, and that. Interesting story for sure. Before I went into the news, you were doing something, and I can't remember what it was.
We were talking about Tesla, I think, right?
No, I mean before that.
I do not remember.
You were looking something up on one of your charts of some sort.
Oh, I was looking up the market cap for the NASDAQ. I wasn't able to find it. second.
Does anybody know what this nobody sausage thing is?
Yeah.
Any of the viewers out there know what nobody sausage is? It's exactly what I said, Pedro.
Wait. It's inappropriate. I don't think you can show
No,
that.
it's not. How Nobody Sausage is bringing its 33 million followers to Web3. To onboard millions of followers from TikTok, X, and Instagram to its Nobody token, the character brand is making crypto invisible. I have no idea what this means, but it's a massive thing going on. They have 33 million followers on social media. Viral creation Nobody Sausage started as a way for Brazilian artist, we'll just call him Kyle, to learn more about character animation before going on to amass 33 million followers and billions of views across social media. So what happens, Pedro, when you get billions of views and millions of followers? You start a token, of course. It's one of the most engaged digital communities in the digital internet. 35 million followers, generating billions of views. Partnered with Netflix, Adidas, Sephora, Ryan Reynolds, Decathlon, and Hugo Boss because of its immense following. It's a dude drawing a sausage.
Dude, here's the thing. From what I'm looking at, it literally looks inappropriate. Like the leg right there, for whatever reason, looks like something else. The way it's sitting, it looks...
Nobody Sausage. Yeah, well, let's head to its Twitter account. Or X account, whatever you want to say. Anybody can be nobody. Speaking of, I just watched the movie Nobody and Nobody 2. Oh, so good with Bob Oldenburger, whatever his name is, the dude from Better Call Saul. Plays an ex-CIA guy. Oh, awesome.
Dude, it was freaking awesome. I forgot. Yeah. He like kicks people in the face. He's like,
See,
he's like
33 million followers for this stuff. I'm gonna guess a lot of them are Japanese or other sorts of Asian communities. Well, here, even CoinGecko's writing about it. Take a look at Nobody Saw's partnership with Hebo and how it's building a new model for entertainment IP in crypto. Good lord. Good lord. Anyway, good for them. Dude just starts animating a sausage that has no characters at all, and now he's partnered with all the biggest brands in the brand land. Pedro, I think you need to start drawing more bits and weenies on your charts.
Dude, it's just crazy, dude. Dude, the things that, here's the thing, man, like who would, when you think about Shiba Inu, you think about all these other companies, right, that just, for whatever reason, just exploded. I mean, exploded. And you can't understand the reason why. I've tried to sit there and really understand the reason why. And the reality is there's no real reason. It's just that it catches on, it's like a wave. And it happens. And so this is one of those ones that just itself just happens. And you just look at that going like, okay, there's a new band that I really like a lot. I like them a lot. I sit there and listen to them. I'd probably listen to their album twice a day. That's how much I like them. And like I've shared it with a couple of people, and a couple of people are like, okay. And I'm like, dude, how do you just say, okay, this is amazing? And they're like, okay, but I'm not. And so I think what happens is just something clicks with somebody. And then that itself, there are, out of 7 billion people, there's 30 million or 50 million people who are like, this clicks with them. And they all kind of, there's a focal point. It's like a band, or, you know what I'm saying? Like something resonates. So, a penis looking thing. There you go. Nobody, Mr. Nobody, resonated. So
I'm dropping some of the things that we spoke about here on the news here. I'm dropping the links in our Telegram if anyone wants to go check it out for themselves. Chuck, you asked a question about your shit butt in you tokens, but you would only be able to realize the capital gains benefit if you immediately exchange them back in the day for Bitcoin. If you exchange them now for Bitcoin, obviously your cost basis is what the price is today. uh, AI Wolf is commenting in the Telegram room. Somebody's controlling the market for sure, and it ain't me and my piggy bank. Right? That's right. It's not, as I mentioned. Is it us retail people? And the answer is no. It's not us retail. Tis not. Anyway, BTC bouncing off that what is it? 100 period moving average on the 15-minute chart, heading back down. Dale.
You sound just like him, dude. What is his name? I'm forgetting his name. King of the Hill. What's the father's name? We all have freaking. I'm just gonna look it up on AI. You gonna look it up?
Yeah.
Whatever. But honestly, it's kind of playing off of this level here, so you can see how we kind of sold through and they're finding. If we close below the 84.90 area today, expect the weekend to be either a sideways or a bloody weekend. Honestly, it's kind of like
Hank.
Hank, there you go, Hank. Yeah.
Hank Hill, Boomhauer. Boomhauer is awesome. Peggy Hill, Bobby Hill, Bobby.
You sound just like him.
Right, Joseph, Dale, get me some more propane, will you?
All right, Hank the Tank over here. Shoot. All right, let's check it out here as well. Hank dog.
One of the characters on King of the Hill, Lucky, and it was a recurring character. I'm looking at the stuff here. The voice was done by Tom Petty.
Really?
Yeah. In seasons 9, 10, and 11.
Do they actually still have seasons going on with them?
There was 14 seasons. I don't know what the, you know.
Dude, it was a good show. It honestly had good morals, bro. Like, it talked about real stuff. I thought it was a great show.
It was good. I loved King of the Hill. Bobby.
There was one where Bobby stole some stuff. And he was hiding it, and he was freaking out, and Hank was like, Bobby, you gotta sometimes just do the right thing. That's just how it is.
Hank Hill is a character and the protagonist of the Fox animated television series King of the Hill. He lives in the fictional town of Arlen, Texas, with his family and works as the assistant manager of a local branch of Strickland Propane. He likes to drink beer.
I do. How can you not love a character like that? You know? Damn it, Bobby.
Just Boomhauer. All right, that's our tangent for the day.
Oh, we'll have definitely more tangents, you know that.
Anyway, let me re-rack the show here, Pedro. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to DYOR Live here on DYOR Media Network. It's 1 p.m. here in Eastern Time in the great United States of Kanukistan. Pedro's in the United States. I'm in Kanukistan. And markets are moving, grooving, but nothing like Bitcoin has been since early this morning, which we saw Bitcoin head down to $80,000. Went a little bit further than I thought it was going to go in this movement, but it looks like with the recent weakness of it, it's going to go down even further. And like I say, it's not a bad thing. The title of the show today was "Traders Rejoice." 80,000 BTC. Traders rejoice. As we all know, if you're just a holder in spot, you're crying and but if you're a futures trader, movement like this is just pure gold.
Dude,
and if you're a big institution dumping the market, it's like, oh, we're going to make the big commissions, baby. Going to dump the market, we're selling it off, and then we'll buy it back just in time to dump it off again and make those Christmas bonuses.
What's interesting is, if you look at the dollar, the currency, the US dollar, sorry, I didn't mean to, I'm going to have to go here in a minute, but you can see here that we have the low here. We talked about us coming up to that 100 area. We We have these liquidity areas. We hit our liquidity area here. You can see this. Boom. We came back down, pulled back to the weekly 8 on the USD or the Dixie. And so we kind of sell off. We're seeing a push back up. So if we're most likely going to push through these areas now. And that next level on the US dollar is going to be that 101, a 101.4 to the 101.9 area here. Nice little area so that you guys can kind of pick up that trade. What we want to see is what I'm looking for is to kind of see it push up, kind of come back down on the smaller time frames, kind of consolidate a little on that 100, 494 area, and then push up into these higher areas here. So kind of like what I'm expecting. We'll see what happens. But that is what I am looking for to take part in that. Again, that's going to be somewhere around up in here, push up, back down, and then continue up to this higher level.
Welcome, Jesus, to the show. Thanks for joining us. It says Bitcoin to 50K. Whoop!
Whoop, whoop. Everybody's happy because we're all in there buying it. You know what I'm saying? Like let's go. I still haven't really bought much. I'm waiting for it to really kind of come down to these lower areas that I'm expecting it. So not this time around. I haven't been buying much. I really don't. I mean, like I bought when it hit that 75,000 earlier, when Bitcoin was around like that 15, 20,000 area. I bought.
Yep.
But you know, unless I see major sell-off areas where I'm saying, okay, this is a good area, I can, even if I sell off even further from here, I feel like that area is a good area to have bought in, you know. So like I always keep bringing up the fact that as long as our US debt is climbing, I'm buying Bitcoin. It's all predicated on this, literally. This goes up, this is slower than that, and that tells me, hey, it's time to buy Bitcoin. So it's kind of crazy what we're seeing here. I'll reiterate that. Let me go and show you this right here. Actually, maybe if I just do blue, who's a better color to use? You guys tell me, is blue easier to see? Yeah, it's better. This right here, as long as this is screaming up, and as long as we're doing $1 trillion quarterly added on to this, and this is not even remotely getting close to catching that, well, then I'm buying BTC, and that equals BTC.
That's a great spread
Fine.
there, Pedro, that we should track. Can you set up one of your trading view charts that track that, or we can the difference between, let me rephrase that, not the difference between let me make myself bigger here.
Mm-hmm. Snap, you just got huge. That's what she said.
Boo. Hold on, let me turn this off here. Where the hell is that? Why does that keep moving? This number here, the national debt here number, and this gross domestic product number, regardless of what the numbers are, the spread between them, and this is how people in Wall Street make tons of money, is that they bet a lot of money on spreads, on things that oscillate back and forth together. They don't care whether the market's going up or down and all that. They just want to see what they're comparing it against to as the price oscillates. And this is essentially what I did when I was working in the Commodities exchange as a youngster a long time ago. We were looking at how the spread between the New York Futures Exchange and the S&P 500 went over time. And as it expanded, people traded one way. And as it compressed and the spread got close to each other, people traded another way, depending on your trading strategy. And this one is a good one to arbitrage here, because right now it's growing, and you want to buy Bitcoin because the spread between these two is essentially the ratio of the devaluation of the dollar.
There you go.
And And if it's accelerating, if that ratio is accelerating, if their chart's going up, buy more Bitcoin. If that is consolidating and getting closer, and the rate of, not just closer, but the rate of change would be the second derivative.
That is the key.
Right.
It's the rate of change in which it's moving is the most important thing. And,
right.
and
Remember, go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
And the rate in which it moves is all predicated literally on how much the U.S. government can balance its budget. And it's not wanting to balance its budget. That's why when we saw Trump come out with the $5 trillion stimulus bill, even though it's not supposed to be a stimulus bill, it's basically what it is, because quiet.
All of a sudden, well, Pedro disappeared. He just got trumped. Well, it's been nice knowing him. I'm sure he's in some prison somewhere now.
Scary, man. You know, it's scary because if that man runs for a third term,
well, there would be a constitutional crisis, and there'd be all sorts of other issues.
Oh, dude, I honestly, we'll see.
He's gonna be too old by then. He'll be 84 years old.
Dude, that's crazy. This is crazy, man. When you think about that, 84 years old. Right. But the man, he runs, dude. You see him the way he moves. He's quick, dude. He's not slow, bro. He's still moving and grooving. He's like, for 84 years old, that man walks like he's in his 50s. There's no stumble in his step.
He keeps going. He's going like crazy. Anyway, let me finish this conversation first.
Yeah.
When you're looking at numbers, if you're trying to calculate if something's going to be good or not, if you didn't take calculus class, you don't need to remember anything or you didn't miss anything. But if you did take it, you only need to remember two things. Is that when you did derivatives, the first derivative is your rate of change, like that would be your speed in something, how fast something is going. I'm sorry, it's not your rate of change; it's your velocity. And so the second derivative is your rate of change. Your rate of change is your acceleration or deceleration. And so you want to watch, how quickly these numbers either spread apart. And if you do a nice little Excel calculation there, you can calculate it yourself, how quickly it's changing for accelerating or decelerating or something like that. And that's really important because when you can figure that out, then you can arbitrage these markets all day. All day. There's a guy named William Boesky back in the day who was the big Wall Street trader. And he's kind of the first one that figured out, modern day arbitrage. And he killed it. And so everyone's always looking for that new market to arbitrage. And this is a good one here. And what Jesus said, he said, can we bid on the debt to keep going up on Polymarket or something like that? If so, I would win all the time. Well, you don't get to win in those markets if everybody's betting the same side. Someone has to take the opposite side of the bet. Anyway, welcome Jesus to the show. Hey, you know what? That's a YouTube quirk of some sort, Jesus. I've seen people complaining about it in other parts of the internet that instead of your screen name, YouTube is displaying your YouTube username instead of the moniker you've chosen to be. I think it's just one of those things where they reprogram something and it takes a while to percolate through the system and update. Or they just didn't like your old one and they just said, sorry, can't use Draco. Some guy named Draco just bought it. Hey Joe, let's take a look. Let's feed the algorithm here and take a look at XRP. XRP, Ripple, Brad Garlinghouse.
Rogan, Swifties.
I have a feeling that those are the ones that actually derate us now.
Probably.
Trump's like, Swifties? No, they're Democrats. They're out.
I don't know. Isn't her man more conservative?
Yeah, but I think he keeps his mouth shut because even though he makes a lot of money, he's not in charge anymore.
Do you think she really? I don't think she's the type that I think really. We'll see. We'll find out. She just doesn't, because she grew up in a conservative home. She has a strong father in her life. I just don't see her settling for a dude where she's gonna marry a dude who is a weak dude. That's just not. She's not attracted to that.
Unless her plan has nothing to do with that, and she just wants good-looking kids. it's you know, if she wants big, strapping, good-looking kids, boys, and tall, slender daughters, then they're a good match.
I don't know. I mean, I don't think. You think women really get married for? I mean,
whatever you're about to say is true.
Just a good-looking kid.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. Not even any sort of doubt.
Oh, maybe. I mean, I don't know. I just feel like
all you have to do is look at Instagram for 20 minutes, and you're like, "Yep, it's true." Ripple down under $2 here.
Yeah, let's check it out here.
The XRP army crying, getting another opportunity to DCA, but that's all they've been doing for the past 6 months or so is DCA.
Well, here's the thing. They waited. I mean, how long was it? 4 years? 5 years? In the 30s? You know what I'm saying? Like that's the part that just kind of blows me away with that army is they waited for a long time. And it went from, 29, 30 cents to 369, I believe, at the high. And so, I mean, no matter what, just these levels here of all these people who bought in at 23, 22 cents, bought in at 25 and explodes to $2 and comes back down, right? And we see it 30 cents consolidating for almost 2 years, right? And then it explodes all the way to, 366, comes back down. They're used to waiting. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they know how to dollar cost average. These people, they're used to this. This isn't anything that they are like, they're shocked about. My thing is some of these people literally became millionaires. They became millionaires.
Yeah, I mean, people had DCA'd, all the way down to 6 cents, 10 cents for years. And then it popped up to 50 cents and they made 10x. And then it heads up to $3 and almost $4. Not $4. Yeah, almost. It hit what, 380 or something like that?
Yeah, 366 was the peak.
And all of a sudden they're millionaires from DCAing at 5 cents.
Yeah,
and thus you saw a sell-off. You saw a sell-off.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying is that they're, it's like they make that money, they sell off, they'll buy in again, and at a fraction of what they bought in originally, and just coming in and just doing it over and over and over. That's kind of like what we're watching right now. And so, I just don't think, I'm waiting for it to get down to, like I talked about, that $1 area. Potentially 50 cents again, buy in and then drop a couple, and if 4 years. And here's the part that we keep talking about is that, are we going to see those big runs? And I think, yes, I think we are. It's just by nature, because jumping back to what we were talking about earlier, as long as we have this little guy, which he ain't so little, right? As long as this little guy right here is increasing at a faster rate than this even smaller little guy right here, and that ratio between this and that and what we watch, which equates to the value of the US dollar, then that in itself, without increase of, and I keep saying this over and over and over, so forgive me when I say this again. What am I going to say, Tom? What type of manufacturing? Job manufacturing. We need real jobs. Real jobs. And so with real jobs, that means then, guess what? This will hold its value because this right here will grow. And then this should slow down or at least equal out, right? So we actually have an increasing in velocity of this right here. But we're not seeing that. Because we're not seeing that, that means that this guy right here will, even though it sells off, will hold its value at here. And then when it goes up, again, which most likely will get up to $6, then $9 here, and then sell back off to $3, $4. All these people down here are going to be really happy. And it's just something you'll constantly just see, you know?
Yep.
It's kind of part of it. It's part of it. You can see here, look, when it was all the way down at that, like 1 cent area, 10 cent area, right? 9 cent right here. Look, boom, 9 cent went up all the way up to $1.90, came back down, consolidated, went all the way up to $3, come back down to $1 again, boom, $1 to 50 cents. Then we'll see a similar situation where it hit probably 6 cents, potentially 9 cents, come back down, flounder again. If you bought in back when it originally, and again, I'm not an XRP guy, but I'm just putting this out there, right? If you would have bought in when it first came out in 2017, you're talking that's 21 cents, or I think the low was low was 11 cents. So it came down here and went all the way up to $3. Oh wow, it was originally 3.30. That's where it got up to. Wow. Ooh, that's why shit has realized something. Ooh. Yeah, $3. Came back down, consolidated. And back in 2021, rallied up to $2. Then went to 2, then went to 366. It's interesting. It's still out. So the ratio is the same though. You know what I'm saying? It keeps going higher and higher. So there you go. That's in a nutshell. They're used to it. The other thing I thought was really interesting is BNB came down to our area here of that 806-ish area to that, or 807 area, and it's actually showing some a lot of weakness. I thought we were going to hold off on that 20 or the 200 period, but man,
that was a lot of weakness there. That just blew right. What did it hit a low of? 793.
Yeah, 793, dude. Like that. I have 790 right here. For this low here, so I guess 7090.4. So yeah, it blew. I thought we were at least would hold a little bit right here on that 200, but it just fell right through that. So yeah, BNB's we're definitely gonna see a pickup of it coming back down with that acceleration. I think we're headed towards that 750 area here on it, which meant that Solana here came down to our area right here of that liquidity area that we were talking about. You can see if you played this like we talked about yesterday, right? You came down, boom. We saw it get above here. It didn't really test the 8. So with any real demand risks, we would not been a part of that trade there. Waited. Coming down, some demand wicks, but not really. You're not playing this. You can see more seller wicks coming in. Boom. Now you're starting to see demand wicks come in. Demand wicks come down in here. You can see right here. We played off of this 8, but it came down. We would have got in right here. You could got in right here, but I would have probably waited to here. You have a liquidity area on the 5-minute here. It comes in, takes this out. You could sit there.
Pedro, I don't know if you recall the past two falls, fall of 23 and fall of 24. October and November were banner months. In 23, the AI stocks went crazy. In 24, they went a little crazy, but we had all sorts of other stocks or cryptos going crazy. And this year around, you and I were sitting here going, we were doubting it in September. We were doing the hunt for it in September. And in October, we were planning the big dip. And then when November came around, we basically called it and said it was going to be, this week.
A green month.
And
it hasn't.
And it hasn't. It's been tough, and it's been a tough fall here with basically crypto. I don't know what the total market cap is, but it's got to be down. At least the total market cap got to be down 40% over what it was 6 weeks ago. And that's a lot of money that a lot of people moved into crypto over the year, especially the people that moved into institutionals and the ETFs. and that type of stuff. They're just, the ETFs came out at 42,000. That people invested in them at 125. They were putting in billions of dollars in the 120s, and then now the billions of dollars is coming out. Fear and greed at 11.
Well, it's interesting. So we were at $4.2 trillion as a full market cap in from Coin Market Cap. So that's where they had the market cap at 4.2 trillion, and right now they are saying that we are at 2.86 trillion. So it's interesting. I think it's really interesting because, well, we're a little bit further down into this level here. So this is April. April is 2.4 now, 2.49 right now. We're at 2.4 or 2.86. I feel like we're coming down to this area here of that 2.49 area from a market cap standpoint. So I would expect us to kind of play off of this, like around this low level here. So yeah, real interesting. But ultimately, looking at this market, I'm excited. I really am. I'm like,
excited to buy. Just think about all the people that bought 6 weeks ago, 8 weeks ago. Absolutely destroyed. I mean, 50% of the value of Solana disappeared. I got their chart here. And they were at 242. Okay, yeah, it's gone down by 50% in 6 weeks. Solana did hit I don't know, it looks like April or so. It hit 256 also, and then came down as low as basically 100, and then worked its way back up, and now Solana has been quite volatile. It's gained or lost 50% of its value. Lost 50%, gained 100%, lost 50%. That's a lot to take. That's a lot. Chuck says his Solana ordered at 122 got filled this morning. I think you're gonna love that one. You're gonna love that one. Jesus says back to $8. Man, that was one. I have no idea why I didn't buy Solana at $8. I did an episode of Rugged, Ruined, and Wrecked about Solana being at $8 and threw them all kinds of shade when I should have been buying. Once again, doesn't matter if you agree with them or not. If it's a good investment, it's a good investment. Yeah. Then it'll go to $1. I bought it $8. Woo! Down 90%. Not $1.
Well, here's the thing, man. I mean, there's a lot of money coming into the market by the institutions. And part of me wonders, are they taking their money out here to put it into their organization and their system? Who knows? They've talked a lot about Solana, and we know that the crypto, this is the other part. We have a crypto czar who's looking to establish that strategic reserve, which is basically, it would be interesting. And I talk about this because a lot of these ones that are being hit the hardest are the ones that are literally a part of the strategic reserve, crypto strategic reserve. It would make sense that, you would want to see this stuff sell off by the institutions so that our strategic reserve is banging. It would be a trip. And just being honest, like, they sell it off hard, right now. And then into next year, you see big, massive buys happening at that 92, 90, and over the next year and a half, as just being honest, right? This would be a strategic play from a political standpoint. They go through, they buy at the lows here, and then after that, they skyrocket it. So
making the bank.
Yeah.
Speaking of making the bank. We got to make a little bank here, Pedro. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the time. One of my most favorite parts of the show. Oh, it didn't go. Hold on, let me redo this. Where's the perplexity at?
While Tom is doing that.
Oh, I got it. That's running now. All right, ladies and gentlemen, are you looking for smarter ways to browse and enjoy your favorite content without ads? No. Get the Perplexity Pro bundle with Rumble Premium for just $19.99 a month when you sign up before December 31st. Normally just $29.99 value. With Rumble Premium, you'll get an ad-free viewing experience across all your devices and access to exclusive premium content, no interruptions. Just the videos and streams you love anytime, anywhere. Plus, Perplexity Pro boosts productivity with unlimited research, unlimited uploads, exclusive member perks, and access to the latest and most advanced AI models for faster, smarter answers every day. Save over 30% on this powerful bundle. Head to rumble.com/premium before December 31st to sign up and unlock your premium experience. Ladies and gentlemen, over here next to me, there's a QR code. If you're watching on your big screen TV or your desktop, just pop that QR code with your cell phone and put your eyeballs on our advertisers. Pedro and I would really appreciate it, even if you just did it for heck's sake. Give our advertisers the opportunity to sell their product to you. Helps Pedro and I out a lot. If you're watching on your cell phone, there's a link in the chat. If you're watching on a replay or your whatever machine, desktop, there'll be a link in the discussion section and comment section later. So thank you very much to everyone, and thank you to rumble.com/premium before December 31st to sign up and unlock your premium experience. Get the Perplexity Pro bundle with Rumble Premium today. There we go.
I just think it would be really interesting to see if we see a massive sell-off and then right after, let's say, the new year, we start to see a big, huge rally. Well, in in a year coming up, we have midterms, right? Major midterms.
Yeah.
And what's going to be really interesting is if everybody got into crypto, the strategic reserve is now at quadrupled. They put in 500 billion, and all of a sudden it's now, $2 trillion, $3 trillion. Well, that sure looks really good for them. And then all of a sudden they take part of that and they say, all right, we're going to take $2 trillion that we made into crypto and we're going to take, and this is the part that would be really interesting. They're going to convert that to USDT and give everybody a wallet of $500. And here's the thing. Yes, you caught it. All of a sudden
it's big brain over there on the other side of the screen here. Now that. Yeah. Oh my God! What a way to onboard people.
And all of a sudden,
oh my God! Imagine the theft and the fraud though, with people helping Grandma get her crypto wallet taken care of.
That'd be so wrong.
Just click this button, then click that button, and then click that button, and then see you're at zero. Thanks, bye. Click.
Yeah, but the thing is all of a sudden now we're not printing any money, not out there. And here's the thing, it would be a simple process because the biggest issues that we've been having is that we've got to go to the Fed, right? And to receive any money, or we got to produce money. And the way the government produces money is how? It taxes its people. So basically you're just giving back our tax dollars by giving us a refund, right? It's really, or a stimulus. I was telling somebody that like Monday, I was actually talking to this person and I said, all stimulus, any type of stimulus is just our money given back to us. You get that, right? Like, no, it's not. I'm like, yes, the government doesn't make any money. It doesn't make any money. Like, tell me what
where else
business,
were they get it from?
Right. Well, the person didn't understand that, right? It was shocking because the person was my age. So that's the part that was kind of, I was like, how do you know this? Like, and this dude was college educated. That's what also blew me away. I was like, what school did you go to? Like literally. And it's a good school. That's the thing, is it's a good school. So I was like, you had to take an econ. I know you are.
Yeah, but they just teach them diversity and inclusion classes now and all that type of stuff. You don't need that econ stuff. That's what AI is for.
So anyways, I just simply said, yo, any type of stimulus that you get from the government is your tax money coming back to you. The only problem is it's been inflationized and you're actually losing less money than what you put in, because we keep going through inflation. So anyways, long story short, he ends up, excuse me, not he, she ends up kind of looking at me, and I go, here's the thing, the government needs to devise a system where they can actually make money they can give us in a stimulus package that isn't printing money. And she's just like, well, it's not good that the government would start its own business. I go, I know. I would agree with you. And then and then I started realizing, oh, wait, we actually could. That's what the Saudis do. That's what, they take their actual resources and they buy assets. And then guess what? When those assets make money,
the Alaskans do it. That's part of the U.S. Everyone in Alaska, they don't pay income tax, and they get their percentage of the oil sales.
You are right. I forget you. Yeah, you are right. 100%. Absolutely. But imagine if they just did that in crypto. And here's the thing, because crypto does produce such a good return, you can keep the system intact, right? You can keep that closed loop system. I mean, it would be beautiful. It would be smart. All of a sudden, American starts getting a dividend of $200 quarterly. Doesn't seem like a lot of money. It really doesn't. But here's the thing. That's $800 going into a stock market portfolio.
Yeah.
Yearly. Like if you talk about, and here's the thing. It's not government, or it's not people-based taxes. You know what I'm saying? That's the part that is just the beautiful part, is that it will actually produce an income that could be sustained fairly well if in 20, 30 years from now, like my children, right, or your children could sit there and go, oh yeah, our portfolio with the TSP, now that it has crypto and everything in it, it's producing 7% annually consistently, in addition to capital growth. Because, like, again, you have a difference between money that's being staked, which is money working for you, right? And it's not like a CD where it's money being allocated for other people to use. No, this is money working for itself, and it acts as a way for. So you have tax revenue, and additionally to that, you can take that money and invest it again within it, and it produces more money. And so it's like a fire. It's always explained. Wealth is like a fire. If you go through and you add fuel to it, it grows more. And so this is where, if they're smart, they would do something like that. Go in, they allow the market to sell off. See it sell off. All of a sudden, we see now the reserve, the crypto reserve come in. They buy at these lows. All of a sudden, a year later from now, we are at all-time highs everywhere, if not 2x's from the all-time highs. And then it's game on. All of a sudden, all the people who are crypto natives are all happy. But more importantly, Trump sends off like I said, because crypto kicks off assets, you can stake your assets, and those assets you can turn into USDT, and then changing those USDT, all of a sudden now you give it to people, and they put that money, real money, production money, not just money being created, same money, or creating more money to go after the same resources. You're actually having real money being created from an ecosystem, and I think people will hold it. I think because most people won't know how to use it, I think people will just let it sit in there and sit, and just say stake it. I think that's what will probably happen.
Or what happened, if you recall, when the Soviet Union fell apart and they privatized all their national businesses, they literally sent stock certificates to everybody. Like, a good example is the nickel industry. The big nickel smelting refinery or whatever. They said, all right, everyone in the such and such oblast, which contributes to that nickel thing, gets 10 shares of ownership of that. And so everyone got these 10 shares of certificates, and they didn't know what to do with them. They're like, well, I'm not sure what to do with them, that kind of stuff. And a couple of guys, mainly one guy, went around giving everybody equivalent of $100 for their shares, cash. Like, here you go. And they're like, here. They instantly trade it. They're like, I don't want these certificates. What the hell does this mean? Remember?
Goodness.
And then one guy all of a sudden has 80% of the shares of that nickel refinery. And suddenly he's a what? Oligarch. Right? He essentially, went around and passed around $200,000, $400,000, and got $3 or $4 billion worth of value. And that I could see that happening with crypto. If I know like everyone on my floor suddenly got a wallet they don't know what to do with, I'll say, here's $100 cash. Just give me the wallet. And next thing you know, I've got a whole Bitcoin. And I spent $1,000 gaining it. I can see that happening very easily. And that's a free and open market. It's you don't know what to do with that. All right, I'll give you $100 cash right now for it. That's a fair price to them if they buy it. And they say, okay, here's.
That's actually what happened in Katrina.
Except there was like, you want your roof fixed? That's $10 million.
No. When Katrina came in, it decimated everything, kind of the lower quarter. And so when everything fell apart, there were banks literally sitting at, like they were in boots, like knee-high boot, like rubber boots, and jeans, and like literally a button-up jacket, with a tie. And they were like, your house is completely it's completely destroyed. Do you want us to buy it for like $10,000, $20,000? You walk away, give us the deed. And they were like, yeah, and they went through, bro. They cleaned up. People just said, you're right. There's nothing else I can do with this. It's, basement is completely flooded. Everything's completely decimated. And they went through, man, and they bought thousands of homes.
Ugh.
They rehabbed it, and now there's a lot less crime, and they cleaned up. Did.
Literally and figuratively. They cleaned up both ways. They resold the properties for $100,000, made 90% on their money, and then because they got rid of certain demographics, they got rid of a lot of the crime problem too.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't the most. The crime there was pretty bad, but as long as you stayed in, if you're in like Capitulation over in the Tulane area, you were good. Or if you were over in the quarter itself, right? As long as you stayed in Bourbon Street and you were there, and you paid attention to what was going on, you were good. You know what I'm saying? Just don't.
Well, they got to keep the tourists happy, so that's where the police hung out.
But it's
on a side note, I was there once for a police convention, and I saw a bunch of people at one of the booths handing out beaded chains that look like this is from my curtain. This type of chain here, or whatever you call it, And I asked one of them, I was like, why are you guys handing those things out? They say, oh, wear it as a necklace under your shirt just so that the top part can be seen. And I was like, why? He said, because that's how all the New Orleans police officers wear their badges. And so if you're going to go walking outside the quarter, if you're a white guy like this, wear that chain, and the bad guys will stay away from you because they think you're a plainclothes cop. So handed them out to all of us, and sure enough, no one got messed with. That was before Katrina. That was like 2003 or so.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's cool. I don't know if they still do it that way.
I don't know either. That was in 2003, but because that's what held their badges around their neck. So when the bad guys would just see that chain that went under your shirt, they'd be like, not messing with that guy, possible cop.
That's what's up. All right, man.
Wearing an earpiece. Yeah, it's time to get going. We've had a good month here so far. It's Friday. Next week is Thanksgiving week in the U.S. of A. We'll have a modified schedule next week because I'm going to be traveling and eating turkey, not at the same time. But stay tuned to our social medias for that type of stuff. We got about a few seconds left. If you got any questions, need commenting on, we're not going to go back over any charts now because it's time to roll. We had a really good week here, Pedro. We had a lot of views. We hit our goals. Hold Hold on, I gotta take a screenshot really quick. Our thumbnail didn't work today. Hit our goals for streaming. We've done everything. Still got a few hours of premium to do. I'll try and squeeze some in here and there. Perhaps run an old podcast or something in one of the premium as a premium time.
Well,
last night would have been a good night to do it, but we ended up doing the whole show, regular show instead.
Oh.
That's why we had so many viewers last night, because it was not premium.
We can always run the top most watched show. And hey, I want you to do me a favor. We need to find, if you could just go to that 6-hour one that we did and just take that snapshot of it when we go over the Trumpian trades and just have that on reloop like 2 hours.
Oh, that's a good idea. That's a very good idea.
Right? And all of a sudden people look at it and go, wait, not in January. Wait, what? Like that?
Right.
And then they look at it and they go, oh, wow. And then they get intrigued and they come along and
That's a good plan. I will find some time to do that. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, had a good week with y'all. Made some fat stacks of cash from Mr. Jansen and Fire Chicken. Congratulations on your 1-year anniversary.
Absolutely.
And congratulations to everyone else that watched us and listened to me read some corny ads, as if I was a 1950s variety host. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, it is Friday. Next week is Turkey Week. We'll have a modified schedule next week. Welcome to the holiday season, ladies and gentlemen. It'll be fun the next month or so to see what goes on all the way up until Christmas and New Year's here in the crazy Bitcoin market. But anyway, as I always say, on behalf of the man in the box, Mr. Pedro Garcia Jr., and I'm a junior also, Thomas Herlihy Jr. My name is Tom, otherwise known as Striking, here in the digital media world. So glad to have hosted another episode of this great show. We will see you guys next week, so be there, Chumbaloons.